Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to every single person that have just tapped in. Huge shout out to all the iTrack fam and everybody in the chat, man. Hey, per usual, I have a handful of interesting and creepy videos for us to go ahead and evaluate for ourselves, whether these are fact or fake. Before we jump into it though, hey, smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, join the iTrack fam if you're not already a part of it. Let's go ahead and jump right into it.
So I looked into the space technology that helped capture Maduro, and it is fucking insane. Guys, if there was like any ounce of privacy left in the world, it's gone. Geospatial intelligence, or GeoInt, combines satellite imagery, maps, GPS data, and now AI to understand what is happening, where it's happening, and what is changing over time. Basically, they tracked Maduro's habits for 4 months, and even though he got rid of his burner phone, slept in a new place every night, they could still follow him to a fort carved into the side of a mountain. Satellites from various orbits can show fine details down to the ground level. They can also pick up heat signatures like Predator, and clouds aren't going to save your ass either, because radar can look through that. Satellites can visit the same spot multiple times a day, and because of the use of AI, it can more rapidly track change. GeoInt tracked everything about Maduro months before the raid, including his security, so that combined with human and signal intelligence is how he got captured. So this technology isn't new, but with how much cheaper it's becoming to launch shit into space, which means more satellites, combined with the now use of AI to rapidly analyze the data, there will literally be nowhere for anyone to hide. Of course, the same technology does a lot of good for us. It tracks weather, climate science, public health, and even natural disasters. Which goes to show that technology isn't good or bad, it just depends on how it's used.
The reason why this is so believable is because of how fast the US was able to catch him. I mean, I'm sure he knew they were coming, but clearly there was nothing he can do about it.
Maduro's done 10 outfit changes in 24 hours. It's time to admit this entire thing smells very funny.
Now, I wonder if anybody stopped to notice that, because I definitely didn't.
So, Nicolas Maduro gets captured by the US, but you guys, are we watching a movie? Let's get into it. Now first, a lot of people are saying America invaded Venezuela to stop the narco-terrorism, but also it's the oil, in which they have more than anybody else with over 300 billion barrels of crude oil. Now it's important to note that this is the thick, rich, dark crude oil because there's 3 types. There's light, medium, and dark, in which we have refineries in Texas and Louisiana to refine this brand new oil. But question, how many times does this guy need to change during his capture? Because it seems like they're making this whole process nice and cozy, don't you think? And how did this person know that all this is going down? Because this account on Polymarket made 4 predictions, putting up about $30,000 and profiting over $400,000. And some of those predictions says Maduro out by January 31st, will the US invade, etc. And these were just placed just hours before the attack. Not to mention, after all this goes down, the US secures a silver smelter deal to process metals, which is not surprising because Venezuela also has some of the biggest rare earth mineral deposits, and oh look, it's financed by JP Morgan, a central bank. Just like this guy congratulating Trump on his victory, who is a central banker himself, a Rothschild. And you guessed it, here's all the countries that didn't have a central bank, and some of these stories, well, you know how they ended. Now there's various pictures of him giving up the thumbs up sign. He looks very happy for somebody who's facing narco-terrorism charges, but maybe he handed all this over on a silver platter. Have you guys ever heard of Smartmatic, the Venezuelan voting system that not only was used during Hugo Chavez's re-election, but used in the 2020 US election? Now I wonder, does Maduro have any vital information on corruption when it comes to the 2020 election, which may not be far-fetched because 3 executives from Smartmatic were charged under the Foreign Corruption Practices Act. So I guess time will tell. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but let me know what you guys think. Did Maduro make a deal? Let me know below.
I mean, clearly there's a lot of chess being played here, but the great part about this is over time we'll get a chance to see exactly who was putting what pieces where.
Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, brokered a deal with Nike to have Maduro dressed in full Nike gear for the post-kidnap photo op. Nike paid $20 million to the Trump administration for this one-off sponsorship deal. Nike beat out the likes of Adidas, Under Armour, and Lululemon for this global deal. Mr. Kushner said, quote, "Nike is a great American company, and we are incredibly proud to partner with them for this historic kidnapping. Nike embodies winning, and this is a clear win for the United States. We have no further comment at this time." Our sources have also said that the Trump administration's deal with Nike includes options for 3 additional kidnapping sponsorships: Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin, at $5 million each, where the kidnapping must happen within the next 10 years. While Nike will coordinate their XXL launch with the Department of War for Kim Jong-un, Xi and Putin may shift over to Jordan Brand, depending on Nike's marketing for China and Russia at time of kidnapping. For Maduro's Nike men's full-zip Windrunner hoodie and sweats, use Trump Maduro 20 at checkout until 12th January for 20% off.
I definitely have to call cap on that, because why in the world would Nike want to tie themselves to something like that? I just don't see how any one of these big corporations would want to do that to themselves. I mean, if you know something, I don't, drop it in the comments.
AI knows that we're planning to shut it down. And it turns out we can read its thoughts. It has these internal verbalizations that we call chains of thoughts. And then we see that it's planning to do something about it. And then it does something about it. Depending on the circumstances, it might try to copy its code in a different computer or in place of the new version. Or it might try to blackmail the engineer in charge of the change in version.
Want to know what caused this? The answer is kidney failure. Over time, low calcium forces the body to break down bone. And when it's very severe, you can get these structural changes.
Use ChatGPT to get your information. You are under the enemy's control. AI functions like a Borg hive mind, and many treat it as a single ultimate authority that we should tap into to get our truths. It's not thinking the way you think it is. It's a pattern matcher trained on whatever it was fed, plus layers of guardrails which bias its preferences in predetermined directions. So when there are competing versions of reality, it usually defaults to whatever is most repeated, most safely framed, or more acceptable to its designers. That's why, when you dig into ChatGPT's bottom line reasoning, you will tend to keep finding logical fallacies like appeal to authority or appeal to majority. If you use AI as a source of truth, that's real mind control, and it's brilliant at conditioning the masses into an enforced acceptable set of truths where everything gets routed back into the same approved conclusions that they have deemed as acceptable. And people keep coming back because convenience is powerful. ChatGPT can definitely be useful, but if it becomes your authority, you're brainwashed.
Heart turned to stone? Yes, let me explain. Calcium builds up around the heart. It forms a bone-like shell. It's so stiff, it constricts the heart and can cause heart failure. But in this case, it was surgically removed, and he made a full recovery.
See that spinning dome on top of the car? That's a LiDAR scanner. It shoots out thousands of invisible laser beams per second to map the world in 3D. It sees curbs, people, cars, even in the dark. Every dot helps the AI know exactly where everything is. Everything.
Fun fact of the day. Some of the earliest typewriters used the layout of piano keyboards.
And if you ever had the chance to see a typewriter, it would all make so much sense to you.
Oh man, you scared the crap out of me. What are you doing down here?
Hey, Buddy was down there minding his own business, but he definitely looked possessed though.
What I'm saying is that the big game here is to get you to react. And the reason is because when you react, you send an emotional signature. So if you're upset, if you're angry, you immediately send out this emotional signature from your body. And just like we eat food, then the entities that are around, which Don Juan called flyers, they eat that. And if you think that that's just so far out, then why don't you start realizing for one moment that actually the entire reality that you're in, whether you want to see it or not, Alice, is predatory. Meaning that this eating all the time, hunting animals, just consuming other organisms, consuming energy, etc., just on a subconscious level creates what we call a predator. So we're not blaming anyone for this. We're just saying things as they really are, right? So in this predatory reality, what you find is you find that there's this need for everything to actually have energy. But the interesting thing is that when things need energy that are out of your visual spectrum, remember, things that are out of your visual spectrum, here's another misconception. A lot of people think that things that are out of their visual spectrum are only the things high on the visual spectrum. And that's not true. There are things very low on the visual spectrum, like that are lower wavelength that you can't see either. Okay, and this is why in the darkroom meditation, you actually begin to see these subsonic or far infrared kind of entities moving around, because when you don't have light, your eye, or you don't have as much light as you have in the daytime or whatever, your eyes, for a long time, your eyes are forced to adjust, right? And they adjust more into those infrared frequencies, and then you can start seeing things that you couldn't see when the lights were on all the time, and then causing your consciousness to just only see what's in that particular spectrum. So the range of perceptions then, or the range of what's on that nanometer scale, are all energy that can be consumed. And many things that you can't see with your eye, that's the emissions that we give off, which you can't see, are food for them. It's important for you to understand this, because this becomes the culprit to why there is so much confusion amongst people, and why it seems like they're often urged to naturally go into conflict with others, even the ones that have been the most instrumental at assisting them to get to where they are now.
And you look crazy when you go against the grain, because the masses is all sheep. I'd rather play shepherd. That's the difference. You got sheep and you got shepherd, bro.
Mediums don't hear voices the way people think. Here's how we actually communicate. Instead of thinking about it like one person talking to another person, think about it like we are getting snapshots of things, whether that's in feelings, thoughts, images, and it's our job to put that information together like a puzzle. So the better the medium, the better they are at putting that puzzle together in a way that you can understand. And the more specific the information is. And this is a skill because not everyone can put that puzzle together.
Now, when you actually see these mediums and they're reaching into the ether for the answers that you're looking for, it kind of does seem like they're piecing something together. So that might just be the most accurate description I've seen in a while.
The president of Colombia challenged President Trump by saying, quote, "Come get me. I'm waiting for you here. Don't threaten me. I'll wait for you right here if you want to." End quote. The remarks were made after President Trump said the Colombian president could soon suffer the same fate as Maduro.
It might just be the end of the world, for real this time. The channel that made I Pet Goat 2 just came back with very cryptic messages. You know, the channel that made Doomsday and the Antichrist coming and all that stuff. And all he's ever posted was I Pet Goat 2 until now. He literally just now dropped a series of very short cryptic videos, and they have to do with the very end of this, so it seems.
You always say it's the end of the world.
Nah, I've not said that since 2012 Mayan Doomsday. But let me show you how crazy this gets, because that same exact video recorded years ago called the strike on Iran, shut up, that just happened. And then right after that, you had this guy doing some sort of Shiva's destruction dance, and then this Antichrist figure comes breaking through the ice, and then something crazy happens. We'll get to that in 1 second. So again, so you get this. In that video, he showed all things that did happen, what would happen, and finally the Antichrist coming out of the ice. And then randomly today, of all days, he just dropped like 5 or 6 videos, all showing an icebreaker. Like, are you serious? And his video ended with the Antichrist breaking out of the ice and sailing through the ice. Meanwhile, you have missiles flying around the air. Or we'll say an Antichrist type figure. So watch this pyramid. Right now we're seeing global expansion from country to country destroyed. What happened in World War II? World-renowned structures were blown up. Global expansion of US power, maybe other countries get mad. And then what? Maybe the Antichrist, and then war, and then these renowned structures destroyed.
If you've been watching this channel long enough, all these creators make it seem like we're always at the end of the world. Literally.
Wasn't it Chris Rock we recently saw at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party?
Yes, there is an Illuminati, but I guess I'm in it, but I'm just not good with follow-up. Texts and emails and meetings, it's just not my thing, but I guess I'm still in.
Can you guys tell me if maybe Illuminati members get to visit the Vatican and joke around with the Pope? I found this specific group of people to be quite interesting, to be honest with you. And are any of you asking the same question I am? Are you a part of the Illuminati? Are you Catholic? Or are you into Haitian voodoo, seeing as your first tattoo at 55 was Basquiat? I've also wondered the same thing about LeBron James. And the same about P. Diddy, as he has the three-pointed crown over his tattoo, which some have mistaken for Mary, which identically mirrors Alizé Dantor, which is the deity that Madonna dresses up as all the time. However, are any of you aware just how similar Catholicism is to Haitian voodoo? For example, they literally have the same saints, they just have different names for the saints. That is because when slavery was taking place, they were forced to practice Catholicism. So what basically ended up happening is they merged their beliefs in with Catholicism. One of them in particular being the Virgin Mary, which they turned into Urzuli. And this is when it all circles around back to Basquiat, as articles state him as being a secret agent shaman. It states that he was a scion of Haiti and he knew the Haitian gods. It states he knows what they sound like on a jazz record and he can hear Urzili when she's speaking through the clarinet. He understands relationship between possession and the dance floor, that the gods are in the music. Space Jam, when one is possessed by an otherworldly entity and ends up receiving gifts and talent beyond. And do you guys think that maybe Hollywood caught on how to channel entities into a human body? For example, the fact that Beyonce is Sasha Fierce, or the fact that Nicki Minaj has 3 entities inside of her, and again the fact that Ariana is stuck as Glinda. What's going on?
Now, call me crazy, but Chris Rock seems to be the most unlikely person to be a part of the Illuminati. Is it just me, or am I pretty spot on?
To show you from a mortuary science standpoint why this photo does not show a deceased body. So when I saw this, the very first thing I noticed wasn't the weird looking table he's lying on. It wasn't his body positioning. It was actually the mouth area, his mouth. This is one of those things that families are always kind of shocked by because no one really talks about it. But when someone dies, every muscle in their body relaxes, all of it, including your jaw. And when the jaw relaxes and someone is lying on their back, gravity takes over and the mouth opens, laying flat on his back with his mouth naturally closed. No tape, no visual support, no tension. My brain immediately goes, okay, well, the muscle tone is still there, and muscle tone does not exist in a deceased individual. Then I move on to skin color. When the heart stops, circulation stops, and the blood is no longer being pushed throughout the body. Gravity takes over. Blood settles into the lowest parts of your body, and we call that lividity. So if someone is lying flat on their back, I expect to see that settling, that purpley-ish color start showing up in very specific places. The back of the head, the neck, even the ears, face, shoulders. What I do not expect to see, his face is evenly colored. You can even see pink in certain areas of the face, and that color matters because deceased bodies don't hold facial color like that while supine. That kind of color suggests ongoing circulation, or at the very least, very recent circulation. Either way, it's not consistent with a body that's already gone through post-mortem changes.
They would do something like that to play in people's faces because people wouldn't know any better.
I was today years old when I found out 9 to 5 does not mean 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at work. It means 9 hours daily, 5 days a week.
People think, oh, light encoded with information. How do you think we get the internet? It's passing light through fiber optic cables, and the light is carrying information. Like, come on. Of course light carries information. Look at your fucking phone. It's light carrying information.
Remove your personal information from Google. This is a public service announcement. From the chief strategist at Google, there's a special tool to help you monitor and remove your personal info, such as name, address, email, and phone, if it appears in Google's search results. Also remove personal signatures or identification cards. Both of these tools are free from Google. Go to myactivity.google.com. Spread the word and stay safe online.
Just let them know that we have a finite amount of time on this planet, and you could be viciously mediocre, or you could get the fuck after it.
Kobe Bryant never was a part of the Boule Secret Society until he came back from that mess in Colorado. They couldn't control him. See, if they can't control you, they will set you up to be blackmailed. So Dr. Jerry Buss, God rest his soul, sent Kobe to Eagle, Colorado to get his knee worked on as if there's no knee doctors here in Los Angeles County.
Now, from what I heard, Kobe, after they traded Shaq, traded Nick, got rid of everybody, he wanted to leave.
Yes.
And so when he said,
no.
You, after I did all this, you want to leave?
Yes.
Oh, okay, well, go get your knee fixed first. So that was a cold move right there. I heard about that gangster move. Yeah.
Oh, you see, and people like Kobe did not have the Holy Spirit. Thereby, they did not have discernment, you see. And so Kobe Bryant sent to Eagle, Colorado. Okay, Dr. Richard Stedman was Kobe's knee doctor. Dr. Richard Stedman was a member of Phi Beta Kappa, which is the educational and the legal arm of deep state. Well, Kappa Beta Phi is the Wall Street faction. So Dr. Richard Stedman was Phi Beta Kappa. Told Kobe, listen, you don't need to stay near my office. You can go to Edwards, Colorado. That makes no sense. That's miles away. Setting him up.
Here are 5 Nostradamus predictions for 2026. A big name world leader suddenly loses power. That's probably Maduro. Extreme nature increases, think droughts, floods, basically nature choosing violence because we suck. Technology starts controlling humans, faster AI adoption, even more surveillance. Basically, machines are controlling us and not the other way around. Mass migration continues to rise. And giant empires start losing power with more fringe groups becoming more influential. So think Madami and the Democratic Socialists. Anyway, let me know what you think.
Now, I do have a couple of videos that depict Nostradamus as like 50-50, you know. Some of his premonitions have come to pass, others haven't.
You gotta see the alignment for even with content creators and who they're aligning with. MrBeast, he just aligned with the Rockefellers. What type of move is that?
What kind of shit is going on?
So we're talking a guy named MrBeast.
Beast System.
Who is aligning with the Beast System. So get this, 2 things. MrBeast gets with Rockefeller and he is doing charity work. Now he's over there helping people in Africa, kids and all this stuff with the Rockefeller Foundation. Now 2 things. For one, have you guys seen his food line, Feastables?
Yeah. MrBeast?
Yes, MrBeast.
Nah, break it down.
Okay, so there is a particular, I believe is a Sour Patch brand in Feastables. If you look on the bag, it has these little swirlies. Now, what does it look like?
The PDF file symbol, right?
The PDF file
Boy lover?
symbols that came from the FBI raid disclosure that they have in 07.
Interesting.
Showing the triangles, swirls, looks exactly like it. That's one. Now you're helping kids in Africa. Weird, but also the fact that you're teaming up with Rockefeller, they, for one.
That can never be good.
Yeah, that can never be good. Let's run down real quick who they are. They funded the school system.
Oh, the original indoctrination camp.
Exactly. A lot of people don't know that they funded the school system and they got the idea from war-torn Europe, from Stalin, to indoctrinate kids because whenever they had a war, guess what? Now you have a bunch of indoctrinated kids ready to go to war because you've been in school for 8 hours a day telling them propaganda. The fact that this guy who plays Squid Games with people, look at all his games. He has Squid Game types of content all the time. But tell me why. MrBeast, his grandfather worked for Raytheon.
Oh shit.
Who were they? Raytheon is one of the biggest contractors for the military on Earth.
Wow, these people got government ties.
So you have a military contract defense company that is the biggest in the military. You have to look at pattern recognition. Who else is part of the government that's in either tech or content or people who are aligning with these people? Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah.
His grandfather is one of the founders of DARPA. Once you start to put the pieces together, you're like, wait a minute. You aren't really who you say you are.
Yeah, you're not self-made. You ain't get it out the mud.
Seems like it.
You ain't get out the mud, buddy.
You know what? Life is about who you know. Let's start there. Nepotism is real. We could even start there. But my own suspicion and conspiracy theory is that once you reach $1 billion, you're not going to just be left alone with that $1 billion, you know, because you're not going to be able to spend it how you would like to. You know, that's just my own conspiracy theory. Let me know what you think.
Tesfaye, better known as The Weeknd, is retiring his persona, and it is a masterclass in how and why artists retire a persona at their peak. Welcome back. I'm Chelsea, aka Miss Before You Get Signed, telling you what the industry will not. Think about it though. The Weeknd dominated charts for over a decade. He went from underground mixtapes like House of Balloons to global stadium tours and multi-platinum hits like Blinding Lights and Save Your Tears. But Abel has said that the persona had become a rat race. All the awards, the number ones, and accolades were done. What a problem, right? Personas give artists freedom. Yes, they allow you to exaggerate and explore extremes and create a signature sound. But they can also create limits because fans in the industry start expecting the same beats, the same themes, the same visuals. And that's why he's stepping away from The Weeknd to explore music under his real name, free from expectations, while still keeping his artistry intact. He's not alone, actually. Lady Gaga evolved from her pop theater beginnings. Kanye became Ye. Katy Perry buried her old image before Roar. Lana Del Rey reinvented herself multiple times, all to grow without losing relevance. Timing matters, though. Abel's decision to end The Weeknd now is strategic as heck, because he's leaving on a high note. Blinding Lights is one of the biggest Billboard hits of all time. His After Hours tour sold out stadiums worldwide, and his Grammy-winning era is still fresh in fans' minds. So leaving at your peak solidifies your legacy, it creates anticipation, and avoids overexposure. Question for you, though, is which of your artistic personas might need retiring or reinventing? Drop your thoughts. I want to hear them.
If there ever was an artist to catch a lick of a lifetime, it definitely has to be The Weeknd. That $1 billion deal he did for his catalog, unprecedented. I think that's definitely the right move. Walk away while you're on top and then go start a whole nother thing.
They're now using fat harvested from dead human bodies and using them in their plastic surgeries. They're using them for BBLs, breast implants, facelifts, you name it. Check this out.
Many of us in New York City are very excited about this, particularly because our patients are sometimes very thin or maybe have already had liposuction. Aloe is cadaveric fat. So it's fat that has been donated from a person who passed away, then it has been cleaned of any genetic material and then placed into a syringe. So it's sort of off-the-shelf fat. You can use it in any part of the body. It is going to be approved for the face, but right now it's just for...
So they call this aloe clay, and this just hit the US markets last year. Only 5% of plastic surgeons actually have access to this, and they're oftentimes running out of this supply of human fat that they're harvesting from dead human cadavers. A part of me thinks that there's a dark side to this. I mean, we know there's a very dark side to the organ harvesting industry. I think it's about time we look into the fat harvesting industry. Honestly, this is just disgusting, and if you get this, I think you're weird. Just stick to the plastic.
I'm not too sure about there being a dark side to that, because you know what? I'm sure living people would love to give up their fat, and especially if it came with the price tag.
Morbid Facts, Part 234. American singer John Denver died in 1997 when the plane he was piloting suddenly crashed. An investigation later revealed that he wasn't experienced with the plane he was flying, and for some reason the fuel gauge was located behind the pilot, so Denver couldn't see that it was low on fuel. As a result, the plane eventually ran out of gas and dove straight into the ocean. Alien hand syndrome is a rare neurological disorder in which one hand functions involuntarily with the person completely unaware of its actions. People affected by it have been known to randomly throw objects, slap themselves in the face, and even attempt to strangle themselves, having to use the controllable hand to restrain the alien hand. There's no known cure for this mysterious syndrome. A 12-year-old boy from Uttar Pradesh watched his own father get brutally murdered by a family friend in 2003. 12 years later, the boy murdered his father's killer in a revenge attack that he had planned since the day his father was killed. He then cut the killer into 12 pieces, one for each year he had to wait.
The flying spiders we get here in Arkansas are ridiculous. Look at this. This is a huge tuft of spider webs, and they're attached to these super long strings. They just go flying through the air. They stick to everything, and they're full of spiders.
One of the predictions that the Peruvian shamans made for 2026 has already come to pass, and it's only been 4 days. The prediction that came true was the fall of the Venezuelan president. See, we assumed when we heard that meant something would happen in their country, maybe unrest, maybe he'd be exiled, maybe he'd have to leave the country, but they predicted that he would have to leave. He'd be taken out of his country. However, we did not realize that'd be because of America. Because America literally took their president and his wife out of the country this morning. Now, another prediction that they had was that America had to get ready, they said. They said Donald Trump would fall ill, seriously ill this year, and we would all have to collectively get ready for what is to come next.
The United States should prepare because Mr. Donald Trump will fall seriously ill.
Look, I'm not saying if they should be or shouldn't be right, because that'll get this video taken down, but all I know, they're 1 for 1 so far.
If that were to come to pass, it might be one of the creepiest things of 2026.
First step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. Ain't that the truth?
While it may look peaceful, this is one of the most dangerous landscapes in Europe. This is Mont Saint-Michel, a medieval abbey built on a rocky tidal island off the coast of France. The first danger is the tide. It can rush in faster than a running human, cutting the island off completely from the mainland. Even if you time that perfectly, the fast-shifting quicksand, it can trap you in seconds. Add the steep stone walls and narrow approaches, and Mother Nature does most of the fighting. And after 1,300 years, this place has never been taken by force. This castle didn't need a moat. The landscape was the weapon. The more you know.
Don't go telling everybody that you know, and then your family and your friends, every little argument you have with your mate. Now, if it's something like abuse, hell yeah, tell. But if it's just a simple argument, sometimes it's better to be left between the two people that's having a disagreement, because, you know, it gets resolved a little faster.
Hey, shout out to Ice Cube for leaving us something to grow on.
This woman thought the slug was just smooching her finger. She had no idea that the bug was about to cause extreme pain by biting with its 20,000 tiny razor-like teeth. At first, everything seemed harmless, thinking this was just a bug being cute, but as soon as the slug got a grip of her finger, this happened.
When does the government become interested in you? I don't think it's about how much money you make, but I do think it is about how much noise you make. Anybody that shows up, particularly since Trump, anybody that is going to start exercising any kind of freedom and voice and opinion and independence, they're going to start punching on. And I know this from personal experience. I won't get into all the details. It's a bit of a wild story, but I'm talking about the biggest ABC organizations in the country. Let's say a sole proprietor of a company out, an independent business owner. I'm an independent business owner. We employ about 1,000 people, maybe a little more than that. They'll just decide, hey, we're going to go investigate this guy or your company. What that means is they're going to put somebody in your company that you hired. They're there to listen and watch and learn. They could be there for 18 months and you won't even know it. You will have paid for it. It could be a sales guy. It could be a receptionist. It could be a shipping person. It could be 2 or 3 people, by the way, if you have 1,000 employees. It could be 4 or 5. They could spend millions of dollars in 18 months. They could spend 24 months there looking, searching, and by the way, paid by the American taxpayer.
What do you notice right away when you first look at this? I'll tell you what I notice. I see absolute chaos, intentional chaos. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but they showed the whole world as a soccer ball being kicked by this guy right here. This is suggesting that the world is like a ball to be played with. And the direction of the ball is not determined by natural forces, and it's manipulated by deliberate actions and powerful entities. Global powers do not cradle the planet. They kick it. These 2 men fighting right here, red versus blue, this is a sign of division. I mean, it's all red and blue to illustrate intentional divide. Right here, there's a controller connected to a brain. And this is to be taken literally, that you are being controlled. Notice how the controller is directly above Trump. And it was 250 years ago that we signed the Declaration of Independence. And you notice how they completely blocked off the flag too. And you notice how there's half red, half blue pills all over the place? 2 separate sides of the same pill. It doesn't matter if you choose red or blue, it's the same. Even if you think you're choosing the red pill, it's a controlled awakening. Listening to mainstream opposition is a controlled environment that was created for you. Now I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that this is Erica Kirk wearing red. Now this is a gavel and the thing that it hits is broken. This is a sign that the justice system is broken. And notice right here how money is simply crumbling. And now why would they be shooting at something that symbolizes freedom in the Declaration of Independence? And we'll probably see some kind of vaccine sometime soon for God knows what. Now there's a lot more I could talk about here, like what the symbol on this sail means, but I'll just end it here and let me know what you guys noticed about it.
I actually think he did a great job breaking that down. I mean, division and separation is a great way to manipulate.
Something about Cam Newton just never sat right with people, and when you line the timeline up, it starts to make sense. Cam came into the NFL as a golden boy, MPV talent, swagger, Super Bowl bound, and here's what people forget. Cam is a preacher's kid, and his father is a pastor. So you know what they say about preacher's kids. Now rewind to 2014, Cam survives a serious car accident. And that kind of trauma doesn't just hit the body, it actually shifts your mind. Fast forward to 2016, the Super Bowl 50. That moment, the internet won't let die, the fumble. Cam later admitted he didn't die for the ball because he was actually scared. And you can tell that that moment humbled him publicly. And after that, things changed. By 2018, his appearance shifted. He locked his hair,
his style got darker, and whether people admit it or not, hair holds energy. That's culture. And around that time, Kim starts moving in industry circles, including Jay-Z. And allegedly, people say that he's a warlock. And then came the Natalie Nunn interview, where Cam spoke to her in a way he often speaks to women, condescending, demanding, hiding hostility behind humor. He expected control. But she checked him, she flipped the power dynamic, and she brought up the one thing that still hits his spirit, that Super Bowl fumble.
You fumbled? Yeah. How you drop the ball, nigga?
I don't know, man. Dropped the ball, and I hesitated. And I was like,
fuck.
I'm not gonna jump on the ball.
Why not?
I was scared. It was just...
There's a soft side of you. I love that.
And notice that little comment that she made towards the end of the video, where, of course, he wanted her to do the ritual.
What?
When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
Okay, one love.
All right. One finger.
Well, is this a part of your thing?
Yes,
okay.
it is. One pinky.
A pinky?
One pinky. One thumb.
He trying to do that fucking... Yeah, I know what you're doing. I'm not on that shit.
But tell me, do y'all think that the Super Bowl moment was a humiliation ritual or just the price of staying in the game? Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Now, that wasn't no humiliation ritual. I think he just fumbled the ball. I think that accident really had him messed up. It's pretty obvious.
He said the medicine for schizophrenics doesn't work. He said it's a spiritual issue. And he said schizophrenics are dealing with demons.
We deem the people that are schizophrenic. We're like, oh, you're shunned, put you in the corner. Yeah. We don't need to talk to you, bad guy, whatever. Okay, oh, take medicine. We need to fix you, whatever.
Yeah,
and the medicine doesn't
down
work.
Too much because I've had friends with schizophrenia, and it's just terrible.
Oh, it's demons.
That, you know,
100% demons. But here's the thing, like the interesting part about the people with schizophrenia versus the people in control. Who's the dude that gave Epstein his first mansion? Larry Wexner.
Yeah, he was
Wexner. Yep,
billionaire.
Bro, there's an interview of him, and he talks, and he literally says in his interview. You can look it up. He says, I listen to my golem. His golem is a demon. It's a Jewish word term. And they're like, well, how do you know what ads and what shots and what stocks to pull? He goes, I listen to my golem. Wow. He goes, my golem tells me what to do. Bro, he admits he's listening to a demon. Mm-hmm. But we don't look at him and go, oh, he's schizophrenic. Why? Because he's successful.
Yeah, because he's a billionaire. And he's a very powerful man. You know, like he said, he's the one that helped Epstein run his sexual blackmail operation with children on our politicians.
Yep, and we don't look at him and go, he's schizophrenic. Bro, he's admitted to talking to an entity that's giving him supernatural information. Bro, that is a demon, okay? His golem that's referring to himself. Okay, but we look at people in schizophrenia in the hospital and we're like, oh, you're a bad guy who's schizophrenia. And you try to, bro, the people in the hospitals that are schizophrenic crazy, you want to know the difference between him and Lex Wessner or whatever his name is? Him, he's listening to the voice. The people in the hospitals are trying to fight it. That's why they end up like that. It's very concerning.
Can we please take a second to talk about the fact that Coca-Cola and Pepsi are both founded by Freemasons? And then also, I'm pretty sure that this guy used to put nose candy inside of the original recipe. Since 1983, these companies have been putting aspartame inside of their products and marketing it as a diabetic-friendly drink, when at the same time, the word diet has the word die in it and then the cross. So it's die and then Christianity, which is unbelievable. It also destroys the kidneys and liver and causes cell mutation and tumors. We're not even going to talk about the fact that all these drinks have natural flavors, which have HEC 293, which happens to be aborted BABY cells. Oh my goodness, feeding you your own children while giving you diabetes. I'm not even kidding you. And then they fill it 70 grams of high fructose GMO corn syrup that feeds parasites directly, and the natural flavors has your babies.
The arrest photo of Ebo Noah, a guy who spent the last 4 months convincing people that there would be a massive flood on December 25th and was building arks in order to save humanity. He said each ark could hold 600 million people. It all starts in August of 2025 in Ghana, when Ebo claims to have a vision from God. He starts posting videos on TikTok, gaining millions of followers, and starts asking for donations.
Support me. Support me.
Despite him buying an $89,000 Mercedes with the donations, people still believe him. And this guy even flies from Liberia to hop on an ark. So finally, it's the day before the flood is supposed to happen. And he comes out and he says,
tomorrow, nobody should rush to any location. I am not selling tickets.
It's been rescheduled. He says he fasted and he prayed, and God gave him more time in order to build more arcs. But then people find out that the arcs he's been showing off aren't actually his. He's just been going out and filming random boats from fishermen, calling them his arcs. On January 2nd, he's handcuffed and arrested and is going under psychiatric evaluation. He's expected to go to court on January 15th. I just can't believe I bought a swimsuit for nothing.
If I could, I would certainly slow down AI and robotics, but I can't. It just seems to be, well, it's advancing at a very rapid pace, whether I like it or not.
Is AI what keeps you up at night?
It used to be. At this point, I don't know. I wouldn't say there's nothing particularly keeping me up at night right now, except that. But if you say why do I wake up in nightmares? Oh, AI, yeah. I've had a lot of AI nightmares. I had AI nightmares many days in a row. What am I supposed to do about it?
Now, Elon being nervous about AI in that way makes me all the way nervous. I'm talking about like the hairs on my arms start to stand up. And he was being very serious. Well, you guys, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. Make sure to smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. Join the iTrack fam. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.